Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to Iron Anchor Cycles. So for fans of the channel, or for people who have watched our previous build series, you will recognize this bike behind me, which is my personal bike, my daily, which is my 2021 Low Rider S. Now, we did a whole build series on this bike a couple of years ago. I'll leave a link up here so you can go check that out if you haven't seen it. Did a whole bunch of real good stuff on this, and if you're curious, the build on this bike does predate the launch of the Low Rider ST, so putting this RT fairing on and putting these Sport Glide bags on, well, let's just say I got there before Harley did. Nowadays, who knows, but at least we've got the YouTube videos to prove that this was done before the ST was a thing. But anyway, that's a story for a different day, but what is the story for today, I guess is the question. Well, I've been riding this bike a lot, and I've noticed I'm starting to get some symptoms of a bad compensator. Now, there's a lot of different things that can happen when your compensator starts to go bad, but I've got a couple of things going on that I'm pretty sure are a sign that our compensator is about to go. So one of the issues I'm having is that when the bike is hot, so after we've ridden it, not even that far, maybe I just ride it home, which is about, maybe a half-hour ride for me, I'll get it into the driveway and I won't be able to shift into neutral. I'll just have like a really, really hard pedal where I'll be in first gear and try and get it back up into neutral, it won't go. So that's one thing. And then at the same time, when the bike is hot, if you shut it off while it's if you shut it off while it's in gear, you get this big clunk that comes out of the compensator. Now, these could be other issues, and there are other, obviously, signs of a bad compensator that we're not experiencing, but I'm thinking that a compensator is what the issue is. So my plan is to open up the primary on this bike, and if it does seem like the compensator is the problem, I'm gonna go ahead and take the opportunity to, rather than just fix that or replace it, to do an upgrade that we've done on a whole bunch of bikes before, which is a Darkhorse Motorsprocket. So it's a real easy installation, provided you've got the right tools to get everything taken apart. So that's what we're gonna do today. So if you're interested, stick around. We'll move over to the other side of the bike and get to opening this up and see what we got going on. So let's make it happen. All right, so with the outer cover removed, obviously we've got access to our drive components and we can start to get this stuff taken off. If you're not familiar with what I'm doing here, this is your compensator and this is what we're gonna be replacing with the Darkhorse Motorsprocket, which I have over here. All right, so this is the Darkhorse Motorsprocket. This is not just as simple as a compensator eliminator where it's just, a regular sprocket with no dampening. This is a multi-piece part. This outer cover comes off with these screws, and there are replaceable serviceable inserts in here that do the dampening for you. So you get the best of both worlds where you still get dampening from this part, but it is the strongest, best, most unbreakable, bulletproof setup you're gonna be able to have here. So really anything from Darkhorse I implicitly trust. We've used these a bunch of times before, so I'm more than happy to be putting one in my own bike. That's the plan here. So I guess I'm just gonna start getting some of these parts removed and we'll hopefully be installing this shortly. All right, so with all those components removed, the first thing I want to do is take a quick look at our compensator. So let me turn the camera down a little bit here so you guys can see. So I just have it sitting right here. So the compensator comes in several parts. You've got this outer gear here, and you've got the other side of the ramp assembly, which interlocks in here like this. And then under the spring pressure, that's what this is, it's basically a big spring pack. It's gonna hold these two parts together, but give them the ability to move and absorb the engine pulses. Now, what can happen here in terms of this wearing out is obviously you've got metal parts banging into each other here. Hopefully not very hard, but what happens is these can wear. This side of it can also break. I've seen it many times where even on brand new bikes with no modifications, these compensator ramps will just split into 3 pieces. They just can't deal with the stress of the world that they live in, and they go to pieces. So in the case of ours, I'm seeing some wear here, maybe a little more than I would expect to see for the amount of miles on this bike, but it doesn't look crazy. There's really nothing that jumps out at me as particularly bad about this part. All I know is the symptoms I've been having, and I think the Motorsprocket is going to be a good solution for that. I will point out that if this were a customer bike, I would not be jumping right into putting on a $500 part. There are some other things that we could do, but given that this is my bike, I want the Motorsprocket, so we're gonna put it on, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna solve our problems. So just a little PSA there. So I'm gonna put these parts aside, just kinda wanted to show you guys what that looked like, and we'll start getting the new parts installed. All right. So first thing I'm gonna do is take our new Motorsprocket, and I'm just gonna throw it up in here. Now, why am I doing this without the chain? Well, that is a good question. This part would get installed the same way you install a regular compensator. You take the chain around the clutch basket and the sprocket, put it all on as an assembly. In this case, I'm gonna put these 2 parts on without the chain because I wanna check the alignment between the sprockets, and we'll shim the compensator, or the Motorsprocket, I guess I should say, if we need to. So I'm gonna get this put on, I'm gonna get the clutch basket put on, we're gonna do an initial torque on them, and we'll check our alignment and see where we're at. All right, so with both of our components on and torqued down to 20 foot-pounds, I'm gonna take a big straight edge, I'm gonna measure across the surface of the teeth here and here, and make sure that we've got no more than 25 thousandths of an offset between the 2 of them. If we need to shim, we've got shims included with the Darkhorse Motorsprocket, and we'll get them aligned. I did a quick look already at this. I'm gonna do one more time and just make sure that we're good. Yep. All right. So we're golden there. Don't need any shims. Our alignment is within spec. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these 2 parts back off, put the chain around them, and put them back on, and we'll start the final assembly. All right, so with our sprocket and clutch basket back in place, we'll go ahead and get them final installed. So we're gonna do red Loctite on the sprocket bolt, and I'm gonna get this installed, and I'm gonna torque it to 175 foot-pounds. All right, so with red Loctite on the clutch hub nut, go ahead and get that started. And we're gonna torque this down to 75 foot-pounds. Chain tensioner going back in. The wear on this is totally fine, just a little bit of marking. You can barely even feel it with your finger, so we're good on that. Let's get that guy back in place. Bolts cleaned off, blue Loctite on these. Gonna torque them to 24 foot-pounds. All right, with the tensioner secured again, you can cut the zip tie off that we had in there. And we want to check for our chain tension. Now, it shouldn't have changed. It should stay the same, but we're going to check it anyway. So what I'm looking for here is a 1/2 inch of deflection. And that looks pretty good to me. Cool. All right, so chain is good. So now we can get our clutch release put back in here. We're gonna have to do a clutch adjustment, of course, and then we will get the cover back on and fluid in it. All right, the clutch adjuster just cleaned up. Go ahead and throw that back in. And our original retaining ring is looking a little worse for wear, so I've got a replacement here. So we'll get that put in. Okay, just make sure that's fully seated. And we'll do an initial adjustment on the clutch. Now I'm gonna have to release the tension on the clutch hand lever here. Then we'll do our adjustment here. All right, clutch adjusted, we're all done here. Just gonna wipe down our gasket surface, wipe down the outer primary cover, grab a new gasket, and we'll get that put in place. All right, well, that pretty much wraps up the install. All you gotta do now is roll this off the lift, start it up, and do our final clutch adjustment for the hand lever to get that release point right where I like it. Then we'll take it for a test ride, and hopefully all our problems will be gone, and we'll just have a new bulletproof upgraded part. So let's get this off the lift. All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for this one. Got our clutch adjusted, everything feels great, sounds great, no noise, shifts really nicely, goes in and out of neutral properly. I'm gonna have to give it a real ride more than just a test ride around the shop here to make sure that once it gets warm, everything is still good. But I'm gonna ride this bike home, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, we'll see, and I'll know for sure. But I think that's gonna do it for this video. And of course, if you're looking for one of these Darkhorse Motorsprockets, check out our website, ironanchorcycles.com. Be a link in the description below. And of course, like always, if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. It's a big help to us, doesn't cost you guys anything. And well, like I said, it's a big help to us. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.